Hi, this is On Imagination with the Healing Garden. Welcome to Shifting Perspectives. If you are new to my channel, I'm a philosopher, sociologist, psychologist of 30 years. So there's this thing where you start with logic, and that produces emotions, and that produces our behavior, and that produces our words that we speak, which accumulates, make up our name. Abuse, trauma, problems, illogic, cognitive dissonance occurs when we decide to give something a name before the logic, the emotions, and the behavior have been identified and or proven. Words are supposed to reinforce and be used as tools to describe the logic, emotions, and behavior. And then the words that are used to reinforce and describe the logic, emotions, behavior gets summarized into a single name. That's how it's supposed to work. When it works like that, you have no logical fallacy. You have a very logical system, and things go pretty smoothly. When I created the Healing Garden, I started with my name. I started with the brand. And then I tried to shape the logic, the emotions, the behavior around the brand, which is where I am now. I'm sitting here going, I'm doing work I don't enjoy. I'm working with people I really can't stand. And I'm attracting people who are just energy vampires. This is what happens when you put the name before the logic, the behavior, and the emotions. So in order to redo this, rebrand, we have to go back to the beginning and look at the logic, the emotions, the behavior. So the logic, this is going to be really fun because I enjoy this. The logic is based off of what you want, what you value, and what you believe, which is your cognitive core. This is your dreams. This is your imagination. This is what you want. The emotions are the emotional responses you want to get from this. For instance, the emotional response I want to get is a feeling of satisfaction, like I've helped people. And the emotional response that I want to get is the feeling like I'm connected to people. And the emotional response that I want to get is passion, excitement, motivation, drive. The behavior that I want, this is the action, is I want to build. I want community. I want momentum. I want change. I want improvement. The words that accumulate and combine all of that are supposed to describe these three elements. So going back to the logic, what I want, what I value, what I believe. What I want is these emotional response. I want a community. I want a better world. Now, what I did with the garden when I came up with the Healing Garden is I came up with a step toward that ultimate goal. And then I built the entire Healing Garden around one step. I quickly surpassed that step myself and went into the next stage. And now I'm way up at the other end of it. And I'm no longer interested or wanting anything to do with this. But now I feel like I have an obligation because I have a name, a business, a brand wrapped around this one step that I'm no longer related to. So what I really want is a better world. What I really want is world peace. What I really want is community. That's what I want. That's what I value. That's what I believe in. I want a community where we don't need the government. Newsflash, the government is supposed to serve us. We are supposed to govern the government. Newsflash. So I'm looking at this going, okay, how do I do this? I love the question how. How, what people don't know is that the what, the when, the where, and the why are the how. So you'll have the what, when, where, why, and then people will go, yeah, but I don't know how. Well, that's how. What do you want? Where do you want to go? When do you want to get there? Why do you want to do it? That's your how. So once you understand this formula, the logic, emotions, behavior, words, name, that logic is made up of what you want, what you value, what you believe, you can put together pretty much anything. Yeah, I should share this with people. So, hence this video. I'm sharing it with people. So, I want a better world. I want world peace. I want community where it's based off of an automated resource, basically an automated community where we help each other. So that if there's a problem, instead of us relying on the government, we rely on each other. We rely on neighbors. And I already have that in place. I already have that started, and I love it. And it already feels good. It's definitely in the right direction. We are meeting tonight at 6 o'clock. Click on the link below if you want to join. Click on Change Now. So then I'm going, okay, what kind of people do I want in this community? I want people who are passionate, excited, motivated, driven. I want people who are basically capable of self-government, people who are accountable, people who are ready to take change, who are ready to make the change that they desire. We are talking about motivated, driven people. And to propel this forward, the behavior that I'm looking for is basically visionaries and people who want the same thing that I want and people who are ready to invest the time and the brainstorming into it to get it done. So I want doers. I want action takers. I feel like we have a society filled with complacent, inactive people who want to be robotic, which is great for them. But for everybody else who actually wants to take action and build their own, I feel like we have no community. And that's what I want for me. That's what I want for people who are like me. I want to give them and I want to build with them. And that's the difference. That community wants to be given. This community, my community, wants to build together. That's it. I want someone who is willing to build with me. I want to build with people. I want to build with people. So now that I have all of this together, it's a completely different thing than the healing garden. Completely different. So I'm looking at it, and it's a mindset. But it's not just a mindset, it's a community. It's a community all with the same mindset. So now I'm looking at simple words. This is the message, by the way. This is it right here, the message. Yeah, I feel much cleaner, much more precise on this. The brand was my problem the whole time. So what words would summarize this thing that I want? I love the concept of a garden because garden implies growth, it implies nurturing, it implies so much. It's cultivation. I love the concept of garden. It's growth. That's what garden speaks to me on. But what kind of a garden? Now, at first, I called it the healing garden, and I'm starting to realize that that's not going to work for me. The concept of the healing garden is a problem because it's attracting people who need healing. The problem is the people who seek it out are not, they're basically people who want to be given. They don't want to work for it. So that's really a big chunk of it. Yeah. So I'm going to get away from the healing garden. I definitely want to cut out the word healing and replace it with something else. I thought about calling it imagination garden. I thought about calling it the magic garden. I almost want to call it the dream garden. I like that. And let me see here. I'm going to see if that's something. The dream garden. Imagination garden. I like imagination garden. I thought about I love authenticity city. I really love that concept. But I think imagination garden is really, really it. Imagination garden, the imagination garden. It doesn't have the same ring to it, but it really does solidify a lot here. Imagination garden. Now, imagination means a lot. The imagination garden. The other thing is we do a lot more than just healing. I mean, healing is a very, very small fraction part of it. It's yeah, it's there if you need it, but more and more it's becoming less and less of the point. So I almost want to rebrand this thing to call it the imagination garden. Yeah, I think I want 2 syllables. I think the rhythm is what's throwing me off. Imagination. Yeah, 5 syllables, and I'm wanting 2, healing or magic, like the magic garden. Yeah, I think it's the syllables. I think it's the punctuation. Yeah, it's definitely the music. It's the flow, the frequency, the rhythm. Yeah. Imagine garden. Imagine. The imagine garden. Imagine garden. Imagine garden. Yeah, I'm feeling 5 syllables in the name. Yeah, 5 syllables is what I'm hearing. So the other question I have is there a 2-syllable word for imagination? I thought about the hope garden. Yeah. Let's go over to the thesaurus and look this up. Imagination synonyms. Creative garden. The creative garden. The philosopher's garden. Yeah, see now, creative garden, philosopher's garden, the sage garden. Ooh, I like that. The sage garden. Let's try something different. Let's try the philosopher's garden. The dreamer garden. Huh. The dreamer's garden. Interesting that dreamer is a synonym of philosopher. That's really fascinating to me. The scholar's garden. And this one word is really punching a massive message right through to people. The New Hope Garden. I thought about that. Thought about the Logic Garden. The Passion Garden. See, now that attracts the wrong people. So, I'll have to think about it more, but I really love the formula logic, emotions, behavior, words, name because that I have noticed every time I pull it out for business, for mental work, for anything. It's a formula that over and over again really like I have so many formulas. I need to like catalog them all on my website. But I realized a year ago I built a garden and the people's garden. Ooh. The people's garden. The People's Garden. I really like that. The People's Garden. The People's Garden. I really, really like that a lot. Look at the word people definition. I realized that I literally have a bunch of the healing garden attracted a lot of energy vampires. That's really, really what I did. Yeah, it means colonize, inhabit, to live in, to populate. That's what people means. So that's really suitable. People's garden. So I realized that I have this thing, and no matter how much energy I put into it, it's not launching. And I went, okay, let's stop fueling this thing. Let's not fuel it anymore. Let's reserve the energy and let's look at it. And I looked back when I was with Brain to Books, and it was like they were the coal room and I was the engineer. So that they were bringing their own passion, their own energy into it, and they were dumping it into it. And I was the engineer just leading them. And I realized that was really, it got a lot done. And I realized here that I'm the only one in the coal room, but I can't lead if I'm also in the coal room. I can't do both. And I realized the reason why I have no one in the coal room, and this is it. People are like, oh, you only need, you don't need a large following. This is it right here. They're like, you don't need a large following. This person had 33 people and they were making these sales. And it's like, okay, 33 people and you're making $10,000s every month. I've got over 2,000 people and I'm going nowhere. The problem is I'm attracting the wrong people. What I'm attracting is a bunch of energy vampires because the energy vampires just consume without doing. They're not fueled. They're not energetic. They're not the people I want. Not at all. Because the people I want are motivated doers who take action toward what they want. They're the people in the coal room. So, and I had no problems attracting these kind of people back in 2015. Now, the people I attracted were authors, artists, creators. That's a big difference. And really, that's it right there. People who are artists do. That's the difference. Artists do. Artists are thinkers. So I almost want to say the artist's garden. The artist's garden, which is why I'm back to the creator's garden. The creator's garden. So yeah, I think I'm really seriously thinking about just completely tearing down the healing garden, throwing it out, and just doing something completely different. Because what I've got a mailing list, I've got the YouTube channel here, I've got the Facebook channel, and none of it is doing what I want it to do. And I just keep trying to, I feel like I'm trying to resuscitate a creature like Frankenstein, and I'm just trying to resuscitate this thing. Suscitate. He never resuscitated it. He's trying to resuscitate it. And I've been doing this for a year. And if it's taking a year for this to launch, it's not going anywhere. So I need to rebrand. And I realized that my psychology is being wasted on people because it's being wasted on the wrong people. Because I'll present my ideas to the right people and they will value what I'm saying. They see the value. And then there's people who don't see the value, which just goes to the perspectives. So I think it's going to start with the name. No, it's not going to start with a name. It's going to start with logic. It's going to go to the emotions. It's going to go to the behavior. And then I'm going to create my message. And then I'm going to create my name. And then once I have the name and the message, I'm going to completely rebuild for everything from scratch because I am not at all happy with anything in my life right now. My words are my most valuable asset. My words are gold. I value, my love language is words. So when I gift words, if I'm giving them to people who don't value them, I don't give them. And that's where I'm at, is I no longer will be giving my words to people who don't value them. And I'm really done pouring my words into a Facebook community where it's falling on deaf ears. Cast not pearls before swine. So I believe that the people who value my words are out there. I believe I've been basically using the wrong name to attract the wrong people. So I'm going to cut everything out. I'm ready to start from scratch. I'm ready to completely just sink the ship and rebuild a new one. And that's bottom line what I'm doing. That is exactly what I'm going to do because I'm all done. I cannot afford to give energy vampires my time or my attention anymore when they're a bunch of pigs. Cast not pearls before swine over and over again. It just, I'm literally lecturing to a bunch of animals who don't appreciate. So I need to completely rebrand who I'm trying to target. Not even that. I need to match my message and my marketing because the content is pretty much going to stay the same. You know, that's really it. My content stays the same, but my marketing needs to change because it's not bringing in the right people. It is not at all bringing in the right people. So I think I'm done with trying to wake people up. If you're awake on your own, great. You're my people. And that's really it. If you don't know how to wake yourself up, you're not my people. If you don't know how to motivate yourself, you're not my people. I see. All right. I've got a lot to think about.